Hi everyone, my name is Hrm668-Article and today I will presenting my article critique on the article titled Should Leader Prioritize Conflict Mitigation or Conflict Resolution by Hrm668, published on 2025. My presentation will include summary of the article, critical analysis and some recommendation. First, I will start with the summary of the article. The article basically discussing the difference between conflict mitigation and conflict resolution. And definition, conflict mitigation is a strategy that leaders use to reduce the tension in disagreement between employees so that the work can keep moving. Meanwhile, conflict resolution is a strategy that used to fully resolve the conflict to its root cause. The article argued that conflict mitigation is more effective in fast-paced workplace because in resolutions, the presence of pressure and workload among employees make it difficult because resolution require a long time of discussion. Author also say that to choose the best approach for the conflicts, the leader have to be calm and read the situation carefully. So, to produce a leader that is effective, there are some key that needed to take care of, which is the emotional intelligence, communication skill, and situation awareness skill, which can help the company to make a wise decision for a long-term benefits. Next, we will moving to the critical analysis. So, the first point that I agree with is leaders shouldn't fully rely on conflict resolutions because sometimes in fast-paced industries, the team will feel with a tight deadlines and workload, which can increase their pressure. So, a resolution with a long process is not an option. By using mitigations, which is more practical, the manager can provide a short-term stability to the teams and keep the work moving. For example, in Amazon warehouse operations, the manager always use quick mitigation to smooth out the tension when conflict happen, for example, between shift manager and the employees. Second, I agree that a manager should carefully analyze the root cause of conflict before choosing any approaches or strategy, because not all the conflict using the same approaches, since the conflict come from many different factors like miscommunications, stress, or workloads. So, a leader with an effective leadership skills is required to make a better decision for the teams. For example, in a service sector, Malaysia Airlines, there often happens conflict between departments because of miscommunication, which lead to the detection of unclear root of cause to the problems. Third, I agree that this article reflects exactly what happened in today's workplace, where mitigation help many fast-paced industries to get a quick response to the problems. If the leader try to solve a problem with full resolution often, it can slow down the whole workflow. For example, in McDonald's, during peak hour when conflict happens, the manager always use quick mitigation to calm down the situation because it can avoid a service breakdowns. But I disagree with the article in one area, where the author doesn't really talk about the risk of using mitigation too much. So in short, the mitigation is used to calm down things. It's not to fully resolve the problem to its root cause. So the problem will probably coming back or become worse if there is no resolution that taken into actions. For example, in Tesla company, the culture that focus on speed and output, which completely ignore the underlying problems, has contributed to the employee burnout and high turnover. So overall, this was a balanced article that provides us with a practical insights of a real workplace and a clear comparison between conflict mitigation and conflict resolutions. And as I mentioned, the article seemed to lack discussion on overuse of mitigations. Now, we will move to some of my recommendations for the articles. First, the leader should invest more time in diagnosing or analyze the real root cause to the problems, which indicate that a leader shouldn't have to choose the strategy blindly. Before choosing any strategy, a leader should invest enough time to carefully analyze where the problem coming from, whether it comes from the issue of workloads, emotional, or communication based. By detect the right root cause to the problem, it can help the organization to solve the problem faster. Second, the organization should train the manager in both mitigation and resolution skills, because most of the manager only know how to calm down things, but fewer expect in resolve the problems. So the organization should provide a training on effective leadership skill, which cover the skill of emotional intelligence, active listening, and mediation technique, which can create flexibility in their professions. Third, a leader should use mitigation as a temporary measure, because mitigation is helpful in prevent disruption of workflow during short-term stability. Once the situation is stable, a leader should come with a follow-up solution so that to prevent the issue from coming back. Next, a leader should encourage open communication among the employees. A leader should create a culture and or environment where the employees are free to speak up their concerns without punishments. Lastly, a leader should provide a clear workflow or expectations to the employees. Most of conflict happen because employees do not understand their responsibilities, or the expectation of job is too high for them, which can create stress for the employees. So a leader should provide a clear SOPs, channel for communication, and role clarity to help the employee to understand their job better. So for the conclusion, in the end, both of the conflict mitigation and conflict resolution have their own benefit and their disadvantage. So it is the responsibility of a leader to choose the best approach for the teams to overcome any conflict in the workplace. That's all from me. Thank you for watching.